Okay, hi, welcome everyone to Manhattan Community Board's 3 January full board meeting. We're here on Zoom for the first time in a long time because of the governor's executive order allows us to hold these meetings per open meeting law. I hope this is a good opportunity for you all to be at home, and I see some more people are here, so I'm glad that you all are here. And we'll go ahead and get started, as always, with public session. Members of the public are allotted 2 minutes to speak. I'll raise my hand when you are close to 2 minutes. And then we'll move on after that to elected official reports. So if you give me just a second, we will get started with Stephen Levy.
Okay, I will have to promote these people.
Sure. So Stephen Levy, if you're here, if you could raise your hand.
I can't hear.
Okay, I'll try and project as much as I can.
Okay, Stephen Levy is not here.
Okay, I will move on, and if I'll call Stephen again later. Kathy C. Is Kathy C here?
Nope.
Okay. I'll come back to her. Thomas Chan.
Yes, he's here. Hold on. He was here. Let me find him.
Sure.
Thomas, can you raise your Zoom hand, please? Because I'm not finding you anymore. Okay, I found it. Let me see. Okay.
And once again, there are more members joining. If you are a Community Board 3 member, if you could please raise your hand so Susan can promote you to a panelist.
So can I speak now? Or...
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, hi. I'm Dr. Thomas Chan, and I have practiced pulmonary medicine on Canal Street for 33 years. Our main concern is that all parking spaces on Canal Street from Broadway to East Elizabeth Street will be removed under the new DOT plan to widen the sidewalks. This will create major problems for truck delivery to local businesses and for seniors and patients with mobility impairments who rely on ambulance or call service to reach the doctor's offices, especially since there are about 200 medical providers and 2 large radiology centers on Canal Street. In addition, it will create severe congestion when vehicles must stop in the active traffic lanes on Canal Street to make delivery or drop off patients. We believe there's a general consensus that the following measure could be implemented immediately to improve safety on Canal Street without widening the sidewalks. First, properly managing the sidewalks, as emphasized in the Canal Area Transportation Study Track 2 in 2010. Illegal venting should be stopped on Canal Street. Even where street venting is legal, the minimum 8-foot clear pedestrian path must be maintained. Second, installing bollard or protected columns at the critical locations, such as the Canal Street and Bowery intersections, to protect a pedestrian. Third, installing curb extension at crosswalk rather than full sidewalk widening on both sides to reduce crossing distance for pedestrian. Fourth, building safety islands at appropriate intersections. Fifth, extending pedestrian crossing times by providing longer green or walk signal at key intersection.
Dr. Chan, just 10 more seconds.
Thank you very much for your consideration.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, up next is Daisy Seto.
She's promoted.
Just let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong too.
Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Daisy Cito, and I am a member of the Chinatown community and also a member of Families for Safe Streets. I am strongly in support of this long overdue redesign that would have saved lives if it had been done years ago. Like the majority of those who have been killed by cars on Canal Street, I am someone who frequents the area regularly, but I avoid Canal Street. It's too much traffic. It's dangerous. It's noisy. And it's just unpleasant. I know how serious this is because I have been impacted by traffic violence. My mom was killed by an SUV in May of 2022, and I miss her every day. The city's inaction on this corridor has made it an extraordinary dangerous corridor, especially for seniors like my mom at 89 and a half years old. I am nervous when I cross the street there. There have been 10 pedestrian or bicyclist deaths on Canal Street since 2014. Most of those deaths have been community members who are seniors like me. If we had acted sooner, many lives would have been saved. So I strongly support DOT's continuing with the redesign that addresses safety concerns that at each intersection. Let us, DOT, enhance safety for pedestrians, cyclists, and residents of Chinatown. And I thank you all very much for a chance to speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daisy. Up next is Luke Camry.
I don't believe he's here. Oh, yeah, he is here now. Let me promote him. Okay, he's promoting. Let me just announce again, any elected official rep who wants to speak has to be promoted to a panelist so we can allow you to speak. And all board members must be promoted to panelists. Thank you.
And Susan, just a note, if we could, the public member or the members of the public, if you could remove them as panelists, that'd be great. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I can't do it myself.
yes, I will do that.
Okay. Okay, Luke Camry.
Yes, I'm here. Thanks.
All right, go ahead. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I also wanted to speak strongly in favor of not only the what's being discussed here, but the broader redesign of Canal that people have been talking about for years. I think I understand some folks' concerns about where it's not going far enough or where there could potentially be more community input, but I just want to reemphasize one, this is not new. This isn't just because of the, horrific crash at the base of the Manhattan Bridge. Folks have been getting maimed or killed along the corridor for years now. There have been past resolutions about this. There have been past community meetings. There's been a lot of discussion. The time for action is now, in my opinion. We have a lot of really positive steps before us from DOT. There's a lot of great ways to get started. There's absolutely more that can be done. This will probably be an iterative process, but I would rather see some change immediately to help people, to make it easier to move about Canal. I think we particularly saw this given the snowstorm, just how much of Canal is dedicated for cars and frankly goes unused throughout the days, while those of us who walk, bike, try and get around Canal because we live in the neighborhood constantly have to dodge these cars, get through the intersection where there's cars blocking the crosswalk, where there's cars illegally double parked. Any small change, extending the sidewalk, extending the curbs, extending crossing times, these are going to make a huge difference for the community. And so I would just urge supporting what we have now, getting things started, and then we can go from there. Thanks.
Thank you, Luke. I'm going to call on Kathy C. once again.
Does not seem to be on here.
Not here.
We have Deborah Y., who's one of the signed up to speak.
Okay. And just a note, there still are a few more board members in the attendees too. And for those of you who are just arriving, If you could please once again raise your hand so Susan can transfer you to panelist. Okay, Deborah Y, if you could please raise your hand. Okay, you have 2 minutes to speak. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't see the hand down there, but
That's
okay, all right. I'm Vice President of the Lower East Side Preservation Initiative, also known as LESPE, and I'm here to support the landmarking of St. Mary's on Grand Street. In July of 2024, LESPE researched and submitted a request for evaluation for St. Mary's to the Landmarks Preservation Commission after Council Member Christopher Mate and church parishioners asked us to join a campaign for landmarking. We were all very happy in December when the commission voted to add St. Mary's to an upcoming public hearing for consideration as a landmark. St. Mary's has long been an architectural and cultural beacon on Grand Street and embodies fundamental aspects of New York City history. It represents a seminal moment for Catholicism in New York as the religion began to take hold here amidst much anti-Catholic sentiment. And St. Mary's is also linked to the early years of immigration on the Lower East Side. Its first parishioners were recent Irish arrivals who came here to be close to jobs on the East River waterfront. Successive waves of new ethnic groups would follow as the Lower East Side became renowned for its immigrant history. The Congregation of St. Mary's was founded in 1826, 200 years ago, in a former Protestant church on Sheriff Street. After that church was burned down by arsonists believed to be anti-Catholic, the congregation rebuilt on the current Grand Street site. St. Mary's has been there since 1833. Its facade was updated in 1864 by Patrick Keeley, an Irish-born Catholic architect and the most important designer of Catholic churches at that time. Today, St. Mary's is a multi-ethnic parish, and it would be a great addition to its bicentennial celebration if it were designated a landmark this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm sorry, once again, people are declining promotion. You have to be promoted in order to speak, in order to participate. I need last names. Just the first name repeated twice doesn't tell me who you are. So please change your name so we know who you are. Thank you.
So we just have 2 outstanding folks, Kathy C. and Stephen Levy. Just making a final call to see if either of you are here. Okay, seeing none, right, Susan?
Correct.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to elected official reports. I thought I saw Councilmember Epstein here.
Yes, he should be promoted.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm here.
okay. Hi,
Hi.
welcome. I know this is weird, but I'll yield the floor
Yeah.
to you.
Back to old times.
It feels like back in the day when I was an assembly member and we were doing this all the time,
Yeah,
Well, happy snowstorm, everyone. I hope people fared it fairly well. There was a lot of snow in the end, so I hope people felt like they were happy. Hope some of those kids got to get out in the snow. I know my kids, since they're older, are not snow people anymore. So I hope some of the younger kids got to go out there and play. And for folks who don't know me, my name is Harvey Epstein. I'm a former assembly member for the neighborhood, council member of Council District 2. I just became a council member a little over a month ago. Been active in the community for a long time. People know I was on this community board for many years, and a former chair like Andrea is right now. G-Man from my staff is here, and G-Man's our CB3 rep. So if you don't know him, please, introduce yourself. G-Man, you want to wave and say hi to folks? G-Man just started with us 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
It feels like 2 weeks, but it's been 3 weeks now, Harvey.
Okay, 3 weeks ago. And so he's been a great addition to the team. The newsletter, I think, Jimin, you put it in the chat of things that are happening. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Obviously just a busy week in itself with, um, obviously what we're seeing happening in Minnesota, like the killings of 2 U.S. citizens by ICE and over 10 in the last year is really outrageous. I was on the streets with thousands of New Yorkers over the weekend protesting that. We also were able to, focus on some other things. A lot of, unfortunately, overnight developments lost our heat. We were able to work with night to get that back on, get some elevators functioning in the neighborhood. People saw the 14th and First geyser that kind of popped up in our neighborhood. Worked with DEP to get that resolved, and we got some potholes closed because, with the weekend of the snow, like we had some potholes. We were able to get those closed before we hit the snowstorm. So a lot of good things, over the weekend that happened and we're working on for the neighborhood. You can look at the report if you have a question. Just a couple of upcoming events. We have our Black History Month at the end of February. I hope folks can join us. I think Jimin's got the flyer that folks can have. It's going to be the same place we do. An amazing art establishment that focusing on Black art on Second Street in the neighborhood. Between B and C. Hopefully people can get to Williams Jennings Bryan Gallery. We're going to honor some local leaders in our neighborhood. And we have we have a e-waste event. We'll have a shredding event coming up in April, and we're having a resource fair and a mammogram truck. So if folks, need any help from our office, please do reach out to Jimin. People have questions for me. I'm happy to take them. Oh, I forgot to mention, we also had a great meeting with DOT and SLA. I don't even know if that was this week or last week.
Last week.
Oh, thank you. To talk about kind of making sure there's opening conversations between SLA and DOT around sidewalk and liquor license issues. Both you were represented well by Susan and Clint, and they, I think we realized there's some real gaps in communication and approaches, and hopefully over the next couple of months we will be able to get in front of that, of like making sure that there's better communication, and if we need to do some legislative changes, I look forward to doing that. I do see one of my colleagues, Phil Wong, who's a council member from Queens, in our Zoom. So, Phil, thank you for joining Manhattan Community Board, and thank you. You've been a colleague now for a couple of weeks, but the council's not new to Phil. He's worked in the council for a former member, so this is something very familiar to him as well. And if the chair allows, I'll take a question or two.
Yeah, any questions from board members?
Do not see any.
Right. Well, guys, enjoy the rest of your meeting. Thank you for letting me be here. And again, follow up with me or Gmail if you have any questions.
Okay.
Great.
Andrea, Kathy C is now on. She didn't have her name before. That's why I couldn't tell. They find her.
Okay, we'll promote you to panelist, Kathy, to give your
I'm sorry.
public session. And thanks for joining, Jameen. We look forward to working with you.
Let me see. Kathy, are you panel? Have you been promoted? Because I'm not seeing her again.
I do see her at the top of attendees.
Okay. And then after that, Phil Wong, who Harvey just spoke about, also wishes to speak.
Sure.
Oh, here, I'm sorry, she isn't promoted yet. Okay. She's joining now.
Hi, this is Kathy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I would like to know if DOT can guarantee in case there's an emergency, those emergency vehicle like fire truck, ambulance can perform their full capacity to save lives in our area, in the area. Like today, I passed by Canal Street, we could see all those snow pile up to the loading lane, parking lanes. And then there's some UPS finance truck and other trucks, they loading the parts on the active driving lanes. And there's a traffic also. And can you guys imagine if in case there's a fire, if the fire truck cannot arrive on time, and what happened? I see fires when I was a child, and only like 10-15 minutes, the whole building will be burned down. And so I would like to ask DOT, we consider the better solution for the plan. And the fast solution right now could just do sidewalk extension and repaint the crosswalk, put more lighting, and put ballast on some important intersection, busy intersections. And also the survey is not accurate. It's all from outside visitor. It's not from the local business and residents. There's meeting in Chinatown with the DOT and BID on October 2025, and majority of the people in the meeting, they oppose the plan. So please do another survey, more accurate survey with the local resident, business, with utility bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and maybe if you could just let people know our speakers were people that signed up online to speak before the meeting.
Yep.
Okay, now we have Philip Wong, I guess.
Councilmember Wong,
Yes.
I'll give you a moment. Welcome to Manhattan Community Board 3 virtually.
Hi,
Thanks for joining
good
us.
evening. I am Phil Wong, and first I want to recognize the former councilwoman, Catherine Freed. Hello, Catherine. Yes, she's my role model, and I learned a lot from her. I'm still learning on how to be a council person, and that's the truth. That's the truth. All right, I'll be very brief. So I know there are a lot of speakers lining up tonight. Now, why am I here? The reason is a couple of reasons. One, I serve at the City Council Transportation Committee. And second reason, I grew up on Mulberry Street. And the third reason, I spent many, many years volunteering in Manhattan, Chinatown. So I know the neighborhood, and then I know Canal Street. Now, recently, well, this morning I had a discussion with Councilman Chris Marte, and we're in agreement on several key points. The first thing we agree on is that Canal Street is a commercial corridor. It provides a vital link for commercial tractor trailers and vehicles to connect Manhattan to New Jersey via the Holland Tunnel, and that is the way it was. It always has been. I don't see any way we're going to change that. However, it is also important to know that Manhattan Chinatown has eateries and mom and pop stores that rely on delivery of goods, raw materials, produce, and they rely on them several times a week. And this proposed plan of redesigning Canal Street will eliminate parking from Elizabeth to Broadway, all vehicles, all parking spaces, and that's devastating to small businesses in the side streets of Chinatown. It's also devastating to the physical therapists and physicians who have offices on Canal Street. The patients who have mobility issues will not be able to get off there to visit their physicians. Regarding cyclists, we have bike lanes along Grand Street, and that is much safer, much less traffic. And me and Councilman Marte and I both agree that is a much better pathway for cyclists than instead of turning or setting up bike lanes on Canal Street. And I wrote a letter to Chair Gordillo regarding my concerns. And I believe it's best to have this top-down look, have this another look. It is just not to the best interest of Chinatown to remove parking spaces on Canal Street, and is not to the best safety of cyclists for them to bike down Canal Street. And plus, I mentioned a couple of bullet points: installation of bollards in key locations, installation of curb extensions, and then construction of pedestrian safety islands and other issues. It's all in my letter. And then I respectfully ask the members to read the letter which I sent to Chairman Andrea Gordillo. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Hmm.
Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna move on through elected official reports. As far as we know, we don't have a liaison to the mayor's office, unless there's someone.
No, we have nobody from the mayor's office has not contacted me at all.
The public advocate, is Curtis here today? I didn't see him. I don't believe we have a liaison to Controller Levine as well.
Yes, I am here.
Oh, hi, Evelyn. How are you? Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Yes, good evening. As always, thank you for the opportunity to address you during these meetings. I just wanted to say that I remain your liaison for the Office of the New York City Comptroller. This time, the Honorable Mark Levine. I'm just an email away. You can reach me at ecollad@comptroller.nyc.gov. Again, ecollad at New York City at comptroller.nyc.gov. So again, we are here, and I just wanted to say hello, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Okay, we'll move on to, I believe Yi I saw her earlier from the
I'm here.
VP's office. Yes,
Thanks.
hi.
Hi. It feels like last century that I saw everybody on the little squares.
I know.
I'm remaining your liaison with the VP's office. So if you have anything, feel free to reach out. And just a little bit of background information regarding our current new BP, Brad Hoyman Siegel. He used to be a Senate member who serves the West Side. And prior to that, he was a long-term community board member. Then he eventually became the chair of CB2. So he knew everything about community boards. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any issues, feel free to let us know. And I just want to share you some of the focuses that he planned to spend time on during his term, which is expanding affordable housing, protecting tenants, supporting small businesses, advocating for public school families, and strengthening arts and culture across Manhattan. And so one of the most important thing that is getting more new voices to our community boards. So that is the community board application, which is now open through February 27th, 5 p.m. Just, so the application, so all members, all current members who are supposed to reapply have already gotten my emails regarding with all the detailed information in it. So please take your time to fill out the application. We got some new questions. We already got some feedback regarding the application. If you have any questions, filling out the application, please call me or email me. I will be available to answer all questions. And also that we have Brad's swearing ceremony, aka Manhattan Borough Convention, scheduled for February 22nd. We haven't sent out the invitation yet because we are still in the planning stage for it, but we are going to very soon send out the invitation to everybody. Please bring everyone, bring your family, friends, uh, like his partners, whoever you feel like they should come and enjoy our borough convention. Please spread the words and send just share the invitation. We have a lot of fun activities. I just heard from today's meeting, so please come. And last but not least, our funding application is now actually open. So if you are interested, please take a moment to go to our website, to the budget session to know more details about the application process. Some of the highlights that we need to mention over here is that so there are actually two applications that you need to submit for the funding, and one is the Manhattan Borough President fiscal year 27 preliminary capital application. The other one, depending on the type of the group, if you're a public school and New York City agencies, there was an application. If you are non-city orgs, there's a DCLA capital funding request page. If you're if you're a non-city org but a cultural organization, it's DCLA capital funding request page. If you are non-city orgs but non-cultural, there's OMB capital application through the GAP grants. So that's all my question. Oh, by the way, we have a new community affairs unit director. Her name is Marielle Ali, and she's a community board member for CB12, so she knows everything about community board. And before this job, she used to work for UN, so bigger, broader issues out there. And then, so if you want to get a direct contact with her, you can just reach out to me for her contact information. And I'll be glad to introduce you to her and introduce her to you. That's all my reports. Any questions?
It looks like there's a couple. I'll hand it to Michelle and then Carlin. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, E. Nice to see you again. There's a new question on the reapplication, or maybe it's on all the application questionnaires, but about are you a registered lobbyist or not? Can you please explain what the intent of asking that question is?
Yes. So as the current BP promised in his campaign for the Manhattan Borough President, he will considering the necessity for the lobbyist or city agency workers or staff of elected officials on community board. For now, we are still accepting those applications, but whether to stay on the board or not, those decisions has to be made by the borough president. So that's
Can you explain? I'm just curious because it's a new change. Can you just explain the intent behind that? Like, what's the problem? It seems like it's an issue.
I think it's because he wants to eliminate the impact that the elected officials or the lobbyists, like political impact on the community board. Try to get as neutral as possible to get the voices from the general public. I think that's the main purpose of him having this consideration.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Carlin?
Yeah, good evening. Hey, Yi.
Hi.
There's a lot of talk among committees and the full board, members of CB3 about term limits. If I remember correctly, the term limits was voted in the first or second term of the de Blasio administration. So that was about 6 or 8 years ago. And I think the clock started then, right? And you can serve 5 consecutive terms. Is there any way we can clarify this on the website?
I think we've had those information last year on our website. I'm not sure if they are still there, but as far as I know, that you can have so that only applies to members after 2019. So if you so if you're a member so the start point is 2019. After that, if you serve like 5 consecutive years, you will be term limited out. So it's not gonna happen this year. If you need the information about your term limit, you can just reach out to me. I'll find those information for you.
Thank you. So
No
it's
problem.
only been in effect 5 years. You're allowed 5 terms.
5 years of 5 terms.
So it's actually in effect since 2019. So as of now, it's like almost 7 years. I guess it's not 7 years.
6.
It's the start of 7 years, but it's the 7th year that's ever since it's
All right, and it's 5 2-year terms. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's telling me everybody's term limited and we're all leaving. Thanks.
Yeah. And to clarify, it's 5 consecutive years. So if you have like a gap in between, it doesn't count.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Any more questions?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Hope everybody stayed warm.
Thank you. I think I saw Sherman from the district attorney's office. He's a panelist. He's up next.
Who is that?
Sherman from the district attorney's office.
Oh, let me find him. Yep.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I can't put my camera on, but I'm glad to be with you virtually tonight. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I have a few announcements, so I'll start with the programming. Our high school summer internship is officially open to residents of Manhattan, and that is for juniors and seniors. So that's a change from last year. So just because of the volume that we got, we're doing juniors and seniors in high school in Manhattan. I'll email Susan the flyer for that, so it can be blasted out to the CB3 community. Also, to couple with that, we've started a resume workshop because a lot of high schoolers did not have a resume when applying, and that was a barrier. And so February 20th, there is a resume workshop, and that is for any high schooler who would like help with their resume or starting a new resume. It's February 20th, and I'll send that flyer as well. I have a few other announcements. As some of you may have heard, Daniel Hayden was sentenced to 24 years to life in state prison for driving while intoxicated and crashing into a crowd of people celebrating the 4th of July in Coup Clear's Hook Park, killing 4 people and injuring 7 others. If for more details on that, you can, of course, check the district attorney's website. I know that this is a case that is very close to the Lower East Side community. Additionally, Alejandro Piedra was pled guilty for the fatal stabbing of a 38-year-old Clemson Cockfield in the East Village in June of 2024. He pled guilty and expected to be sentenced on April 20th to 18 years to life in state prison. And lastly, Julio Cachago was indicted recently for the killing of 76-year-old Yang Lee in a fatal hit and run in the Lower East Side. For all of those announcements, you can check our website for more details on the press releases, and I will send a follow-up to Susan with the flyers for the resume workshop and the high school summer internship.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Sherman? Okay, thank you. I'll move on to John Blasco, who's here in place of Wesley for Representative Goldman.
Thank you. Good to see you all. Happy New Year, because it's the first time I'm seeing you in the new year. Wesley is sick today, and I am getting better from being sick, so we traded places. So you have me today. John Blasco, Deputy Chief to Congressman Dan Goldman here. I'll give a few updates. The first I'll start with, you all may be aware, the House voted on the floor 3 separate packages of funding bills. One was Homeland, 2 was Defense, and then we had State and Foreign Services. For awareness, the congressman voted no on all 3 funding bills. And I think the bill that has been in the news the most, the bill that everyone has been talking about, have been calling their congressional reps and U.S. senators, is on the Homeland bill, because this is the bill that would increase the funding for ICE to continue conducting in the I would say illegal ways that they are conducting themselves. The Senate still has to vote. They have to vote before the 30th. If they voted down, do not vote. If they vote no on this bill, which let me just say that for the House, it was 3 separate bills we had to vote on. The Senate combined the separate bills into one big bill. So they are just voting on one. If they vote no on it, it will come back to the House. And we're playing this ping pong. I will say there could be a chance that there is a partial government shutdown. We would not see a full government shutdown as we just saw, because of some of the first set of bills under Commerce and Justice were able to go through, and those were already voted on. So it would just be a partial government shutdown. But we should know more in the next coming days. As I said, the deadline is the 30th. So we shall see what the Senate does. Also related to Homeland and ICE, you all know in our Manhattan office, we have for the past several months had a triage clinic going on there where we serve families and individuals who have been detained by ICE or are in fear of being detained by ICE. Congressman Goldman was part of a lawsuit, filing a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security, along with 11 other members of Congress, getting access to 26 Federal Plaza, specifically the 10th floor, because the 10th floor is where the detention cells are. We successfully, in mid-December, a judge ruled that the members of Congress could get access to those floors. So about the next day, Congress member Goldman and Congress member Espaillat went to 26 Federal Plaza, went to the 10th floor, got into the 10th floor. There were about 11 folks that were there detained. And at the same time, FedCap, which is the agency that does all the cleaning services for federal buildings, they were in there cleaning the 10th floor as the congressman went inside. Mind you, they went unannounced, right? The point of these visits are to go unannounced so that we see what's actually happening inside. Congressman Goldman made a second visit. The second visit, it was also December, and he saw 5 people sleeping in the detention cells and 5 more people being processed at the same time. But the conditions were much better than previously. And if anyone remembers last year, where someone was detained inside, had their cell phone, was recording what was going, it was horrid, right? The conditions that we saw on those videos were horrid. So we know that when members of Congress are able to conduct unannounced visits into these detention centers, and ICE and Department of Homeland Security don't know when to inspect them, that they will clean up, because they don't know at any minute a member of Congress can show up. What has happened since then is Secretary Kristi Noem has come in and instituted another policy. The policy now requires members of Congress to give 7-day notice before they appear. So once again, January 5th, Rep. Goldman went back to 26 Federal Plaza and was told by the deputy director of the 26 Federal Plaza field office he could not get in because he was making an unannounced visit. So we are back in court. We're back in court. We are appealing their decision, and we will see what happens. We've since attempted twice to go back in. The second or third time we did give 7-day notice to see, they instituted this policy, so it's not going to stop us from trying to go. So we're in the midst of going back and forth in a communication with Homeland Security and ICE Congressional Affairs. So I wanted to give that update. Also related to Homeland Security is some of you may be tracking that ICE, DHS, and HUD have now come into a contract together. As you know, if you live in a Section 8, Section 9, you can be an undocumented person living in a HUD subsidized apartment. However, you cannot be the head of household in that apartment. You also cannot get the subsidy, right? The subsidy is only for those who are citizens. There's always been a time where public housing authorities like NYCHA share data with HUD. That's always been the case. Under the Biden administration, under the Obama administration, Bush, so on and so on. What is happening now is that HUD is coming into an agreement with Homeland Security to share that data with them so that they can investigate the number of people that are in HUD subsidized apartments that are receiving or might be, just in these units, in these buildings. That is where we have an issue. The congressman released a statement earlier today. We are monitoring it. We are seeing what happens. But given the state of what the Department of Homeland Security and what ICE looks like right now, it doesn't feel very good. Also, given the state of HUD, given the state of the entire federal agencies, it doesn't feel very good. So we are monitoring this really closely to see what exactly is going on, what exactly they are looking to do. That's not good news here, but it's important for me to share that that is what is going on. In addition, 2 quick things. We also went through an appropriations process. Very soon, we're going to announce some exciting specific dollar amounts. But we will be bringing awards to groups like Grand Street Settlement, Avenues for Justice, and also NYCHA developments like First Houses, Baruch Houses, and LES Group 5. It was very surprising because if anyone was following last year, community project fundings, AKA you used to know them as earmarks, they were eliminated. This time around, they have gone through without an issue. I'm grateful for that because this is how we are able to bring dollars to districts and to neighborhoods. So please be on the lookout for that. We're hopefully going to get a process for FY27. And when we do that, Susan, Andrea, and many of you that represent community partners, community-based organizations, I will be reaching out to you to get some ideas for new projects for FY27. So please be on the lookout for that. And then lastly, as you may know, every second Wednesday of the month, we hold mobile office hours at the Loisaida Center, which is 710 East 9th Street. And that's from 11 to 3 p.m. We are looking for a spot south of Houston in the Lower East Side or Two Bridges area. So if you have recommendations on where we could do a pop-up mobile office, it doesn't have to be monthly. It could just be a pop-up. It's where we bring our federal caseworkers who speak English, Spanish, Mandarin, and Cantonese to talk to people about issues that they have with IRS, Postal Service, Social Security, HUD, so on and so on. And that's it. I see some hands raised, but that's my report.
Thank you so much, John. Daisy had her hand raised first and then Arnett.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My question to John, when you say HUD is sharing information with Homeland Security, my question to you is you mentioned Section 8. Is it all Section 8, like the Section 8 vouchers? This Section 8, I live myself in Section 8 at the Gills. Even Gills is considered a private development. Are they also included in that sharing of information?
So it's a really good question. I probably need to dig a little more to get specific to your question. The most we heard about right now was through public housing authorities.
Okay.
But I will say that DHCR and also HPD are also considered public housing authorities. So we've heard a lot about NYCHA as it pertains to New York. I just need to do a little more digging in terms of whether it's the private management who holds the voucher for the entire building, or if this is individuals, like people's individual Section 8 vouchers that they are traveling with. To be honest with you, it could be a combination of all, just knowing how these agencies are working under this administration. But let me dig a little more and get you specific answers.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks. Arnett.
Okay. To piggyback off of, first I want to piggyback off of Daisy's question. In my former life, because I've lived several, I was an auditor for HUD. And from my past experience, when you discuss, okay, when you mention HUD, then they're probably talking about is the voucher as well as project-based Section 8, in which we have to verify through the SAVE software. I can't remember what it sounds like, a people's citizenship, in which then we prorate the amount of subsidies. So more than likely, the whole registry from HUD, HUD, DCR, and all the other agencies would probably be targeted for release, and especially HUD, because HUD is a federal agency for which they have jurisdiction over, and HPD is state. Although they get federal funding, they're still a state entity, but HUD is federal. Although the monies go to HPD, it's still a federal source. So my assumption is that HUD project-based buildings will probably be the first because they're under the Secretary of HUD. So I'm happy that Daisy asked that, because my original question was, is the federal government, your office, working with the current mayor around what it would look like in the event we have ICE raids targeting some of our HUD Section 8 buildings, for which we have quite a few. Two Bridges is Section 8, HUD project-based Section 8, and then we have Guild. We have quite a few within just the Two Bridges area, which would probably it would be devastating, because a lot of that, we also have a lot of aging residents as well. So those that we've targeted will probably be 55 and above. So that was one question. Are you working with the current mayor? And then the second one was offering actually, hopefully, a place in Two Bridges in which the mobile unit can come, because that right there, that particular issue alone, I'm quite sure once that gets to the residents, there's going to be a lot of questions. And we have a high population of Asian residents that would not typically go anywhere to find information, but lock themselves or try to find some way of feeling safe. So I think that would be a great opportunity to come and even just discuss that, because we're also under not attack, but under, I guess, attack, where we come for our affordable housing, as we start to still fight the luxury buildings coming up or wanting to come up. So there's a lot of stuff going on in that area. So people are already tense. So I was hoping that you would be open to coming to the Two Bridges area.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm open, willing, able. Just like send me a message and we'll definitely set up a time that would work. We've been doing a lot of work with the 265, 275 Cherry Street, the Land's End 2 buildings. We've been doing a lot of work with 227 Cherry, with the tenant president there, Elaine La Pena. So yeah, more than willing to go to as many places as possible. And to the first question, yes, absolutely. We've been working with the mayoral administration and the governor's office both in tandem. I will just say that not on this particular issue, only because this particular issue just came out like a day or two ago. So we will be trying to have some sort of a coordinated effort here. We actually just met the New York City delegation of congressional district directors. We all represent different members of Congress for the Democratic members of Congress. We actually just had a meeting with the mayor and the governor, no matter who it is, they all have um, federal legislative affairs that are our liaisons to those offices. So we just had a great meeting with the mayor's FLA, Federal Leg Affairs team, to talk about how we can do more things in partnership with the entire delegation and work as a unit. And I'm sure that this topic, now that it has come up, will be one of the first pressing topics that we need to work together to address.
Okay, 2 questions, if we can keep them brief. Sandra and then Valentina.
Hi. Just to piggyback off of Daisy and Arnett, of course, it would be devastating if they would come into project-based Section 8 apartments, which of course I do think they will come in first because the questioning is so intensive and intrusive. Are you putting together a plan to help if this does happen? If they, what are you going to do to help protect the residents if it does happen?
Yeah, it's a really good question. But as I was just saying, the news just came out, right? So
Mhm.
we need to get together and come up with a plan with the entire New York City delegation, with our U.S. senators, and also with the mayor and the governor. We've had some preliminary conversations just as soon as we heard the news with some of our public housing authorities like NYCHA. I won't go into too much details of those conversations because they were more strategy conversations, and I don't want to do that on a public Zoom. But we are in those conversations, absolutely. Like the recertification process already for Section 8, Section 9, I
Yes.
remember having to do it myself when I lived
Mhm.
in Section 9. So this, I think, will complicate things absolutely, and I
Mhm.
think it will make people fearful, which is what we're seeing when people go to immigration court, which is what we're seeing people not taking their children to schools because they're afraid that ICE might be there, or that they're
Mhm.
not going to the doctor's appointment because they're afraid that the medical providers or that ICE will show up at the medical provider office. It's a lot of fear that folks are living in right now.
Mhm.
So
But quickly,
we're trying to come up with a
Mhm.
plan.
Just one more statement. I would also like to request a mobile unit to be parked over here by Grand Street. We can get in touch with each other.
Absolutely. I
And
will just clarify that the mobile unit we're on foot. We don't have a vehicle. So we just, for the mobile office, I call it mobile office because it's our team moving. It's not
right,
necessarily a vehicle. So if any of you are able to, hey, we have a community room and
right,
we can
exactly.
these 2 hours, then I will get my team there.
I do have. Okay. Thank you,
Let's follow.
John. Thank
Of
you.
course. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Valentina?
Yeah, just quickly, I plan to tell the president of Gouverneur Gardens because I think a pop-up and probably a presentation would actually be good because we're HPD, but I know how these things get going, and these pictures of ICE on TV are quite scary. So I will talk to him tomorrow or send him a message to get to you because I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to see you. Thank you, Andrea.
Great. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate your time. Okay, moving on to, I think it's Fanny from Assemblymember Lee's office. Pretty sure I saw her.
I think she kept declining to be promoted. Let me try again.
Um,
I don't see her now. Let me see.
okay, I see her in the attendees. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I will try. Fanny, I'm trying to promote you. You have to accept in order to speak. Okay, now she's doing it.
Welcome, Fanny.
Hi, okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Let's see, so I don't have much to report. So the assembly member is back in Albany. Session has started. She's working hard to promote the bills that is important to our district. Just a couple of things. With everything that's going on in Minnesota, the assembly member feels that it is New York State elected officials' responsibility to step in where the federal government is failing. So she has joined her colleagues and called for the MELT Act, the Radar Act, and New York for All Act. These are guardrails to ensure accountability and protect our communities. The assembly member also stands in solidarity with the New York nurses as they advocate for fair wages, better working conditions, and safer staffing ratios to help keep patients safe. We are glad to hear that the nurses and hospitals are progressing in talks and hope to see a resolution soon. And we have an event coming up. We are in collaboration with State Senator Brian Kavanaugh. We're doing a town hall on February 5th. It's going to be at PS 20, 166 Essex Street. I'm sure you guys know where that is. And it's at 6 o'clock. And if you have any questions, anybody could submit them beforehand through their link. And and that's it.
Great. Any questions for Fanny? Okay, thank you. I believe the Office of Assembly Member Glick can't make it today. There's no one here for her, right?
I don't see anyone.
Okay. Yeah, I got a message from her office. I think I saw someone from Senator Kavanaugh's office. Yeah, Shui.
Hi, my name is Shu Yi. Sorry, I can't join on camera right now. But I'm with State Senator Brian Kavanaugh's office. I'll start with some district update. We've heard some concerns about ICE vehicles parking at Pier 40. That's at Hudson River Park. It is not in CB3, but very close to CB3. So in light of that, Senator Kavanaugh has joined other elected officials to send a letter to the Hudson River Park Trust last week, urging them to terminate their parking contract with ICE as soon as possible. The trust has publicly committed to not renewing the contract when it expires in June. And the elected officials are still working to advocate for the trust to terminate the contract even earlier than that. Secondly, Fanny has mentioned this already. We are hosting a town hall. It's on February 5th at PS 20 from 6 to 7 p.m. We hope to see many of you there and bring your questions and concerns directly to us. Moving on to legislative news, the governor has just released her executive budget proposal, and over the next several months, the legislature will hold hearings, review funding priorities, and negotiate with the governor's office to pass a final budget hopefully before the April 1st deadline. I also want to highlight a few of Senator Kavanaugh's legislative priorities this year. As many of you know, Senator Kavanaugh chairs the Housing Committee in the State Senate. So there are a number of housing-related items that I'd like to share. Senator Kavanaugh is fighting for $250 million to fully fund the Housing Access Voucher Program, or the HAVP program. It will be a state level equivalent to the federal Section 8 voucher program. It will be a very critical tool to address New York's housing and affordability crisis. So 50 million was secured last year, and the governor has proposed another 50 million for fiscal year 27. But Senator Kavanaugh believes this number is far short of the scale of need. So especially as the federal housing funding faces a lot of threats right now. So the budget negotiation is continuing, and he remains committed to secure the full 250 millions this year. Another one of Senator Kavanaugh's priority this year is passing a package of bills to expand the CB3, SHE, and D programs. These programs help seniors and people with disabilities stay in their homes by freezing their rent. So Senator Kavanaugh is carrying two bills. One is to raise the income eligibility cap for all four programs to 75,000 and index it to inflation. And another is to allow localities not just to freeze the rent as it is right now, but to cap them at 1/3 of household income. We are very excited to share that the governor officially through her support behind raising the income threshold for CB3 to 75,000 in her State of the State address. And we will keep following that. Yeah, so that is our legislative update. Are there any questions?
Okay, I don't see any. Thank you, Shui. Okay, up next, last but not least, is Simon from Councilmember Marte's office.
Hello, everybody. Hello, CB3. Good to see you, albeit a bunch of squares, but what it is at the moment. So some exciting news coming out of our office. So Councilmember Marte has been appointed by the Speaker to be chair of the subcommittee on landmarks, public sightings, dispositions, and resiliency. They held their first successful hearing today. He was also elected by his fellow council colleagues to serve as co-chair of the BLAC caucus, which is the Black, Latino, and Asian caucus, alongside Councilmember Julie Wan from Queens. So we're all very excited about those things. In terms of community news, so our office drafted the letter to the Hudson River Park Trust regarding their contract with the Department of Homeland Security. And so we're still waiting for a response to see if they will be terminating their contract early. But we got 13 elected officials to sign on, including all the ones from Lower Manhattan and all the ones that abut Hudson River Park. So we're happy about the response that we've gotten from elected officials. We've also sent a letter along with Community Board 1 to the new administration asking for a pause on all work on the Chinatown jail and to consider the viable alternatives that have been proposed by the community. Further, we have also joined a walkthrough with Land's End 2 and 2 Bridges with residents and other elected officers to go over a number of maintenance and safety issues, and we'll be coordinating next steps to hold the landlord accountable there. In terms of other land use news, we are happy to see that St. Mary's Church is being calendared by LPC to be considered for landmarking, which was brought up in the public session. In terms of budget updates, so the budget applications are open. Please go to our council budget page for more information. The discretionary funding application is open until February 18th at 6 p.m. For capital, for city council and the borough president, please get applications in before February 19th at 5 p.m. And for city council only, it would be March 19th at 5 p.m. for that deadline. And please note for the discretionary applications, it is a new system, so please create a new account with new credentials. And that's it for me. We're very excited about the new upcoming City Council legislative session.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Simon? Okay, thanks everyone. Thank you, Simon. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll move on to a roll call vote now. So Rod, I'll let you take it away.
Sure, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Let's see here. And if I mispronounce anyone's names, please let me know. David Adams. Stephen Ballinger.
I'm here.
Sorry, hold on one second.
Did you get me? Did you get me my vote, my presence? David
No, I
Adams?
didn't. David, okay, you're here, David.
Okay, I
Great.
was having a problem getting unmuted. Okay.
Perfect. Stephen Ballinger here.
Okay, you got me now. Thank you.
Yes, got you. Tanya Bates.
Here.
Lee Berman.
Lee Berman is here.
Great. Carlin Chan.
Here.
Ariadna Chua.
Here.
Vincent Cerrito.
Here.
Eric Diaz.
Live and in color. Here.
Nice. Alistair Economakis. Hello. Okay, absent. Larry Fenn.
Yep. Here.
Tahisha Fields. Absent. Naima Fofana. Absent. John Fout.
Present.
Great. Catherine Freed.
I'm here.
And Sean Garcia. Ryan Gillum.
Yes, here.
Yeah. Charlie Goldenson.
I'm here. Thank you.
Great. Andrea Gordillo.
Present.
Herman Hewitt.
Present.
Trevor Holland.
Yeah.
Valentina Jones.
Present.
Anna Kakar. Absent. Nancy Kong.
Here.
Michelle Cuppersmith.
Present.
Diane Lake.
Present.
May Lee.
Here.
Michael Lavario.
Present.
Yaya Lau. Absent. Molly Liu.
Here.
Campbell Munn.
Here.
John Neidick.
Hi, sorry,
Um,
it's Alistair Economakis. I'm here.
Okay,
Was
great.
muted before. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Got you. Perfect. Thank
Thank
you. John Neidick. Absent. Indrani Nicomedes Rivera.
Here.
Awesome. Gravin Olivares. Absent. Daisy Paez.
Here.
Here. Elena Perez.
Here.
Great. Rod Ramanian here. Ramya Rao.
Here.
Damaris Reyes.
Here.
Oh, you're here, Damaris?
I'm here. I'm here. Hi.
Okay, great, perfect. Hi. Thank you. Tal Roded.
Present.
Present. Jaylene Rodriguez.
Present.
Arnett Scott. I think she was here, right? Hello?
Yeah, she was here.
Clint Smeltzer.
Here.
Okay, Sandra Struther.
Present.
Daniel Tano.
Present.
Present. Zachary Thomas.
Hey, present.
Present. Josephine Velez.
Yes.
Great. Kathleen Webster.
Present.
Present. And Guillermo Zubiaga. Absent. I think that's everyone.
Just a quick thing. Naima sent me a message. Her audio is disconnected, but she's here. I
Okay,
don't
great.
know what we can do about it. She has her hand up.
Naima Fofana. Okay, great.
And Sean Garcia's here too. My daughter was demanding my attention during roll call. Sorry.
Okay, great. Got it. Present. Thank you.
Arnett, are you here? I mean, she was talking just a minute ago. I'm not sure what to do about that. Okay, all right, well, let's move on and we'll record her vote later. Okay, very short.
I see Arnett signed in, but
Yes, we all see Arnett. She's just not raising her hand. Okay, so I'll just go really quickly through my report. There's a few other exciting things going to announce, so I'll just keep it really short. I had a meeting with Susan and I both had a meeting with the LES Employment Network. Just discussed their year's activity, partnerships, upcoming opportunities that are relevant to CB3 residents. So they'll be coming to economic development in the next few months to kind of discuss some of the items that are particularly relevant to us. Arnett went to Borough Board in my stead this past week. I was at jury duty, so I couldn't attend. But some of the things that we've been working on to elevate more broadly is just operational support, particularly requesting supporting the district manager's request for help from the city to obtain and pay for translation services. And previously the Manhattan DMs met with the VP. They requested help for this from the office. Just recognizing, as we all know, the role that language access plays, particularly on community boards. And then I've been also urging other community board chairs to join us in supporting the New York for All Act and the Access to Representation Act. In light of everything we've heard that's happening on immigration, and also because the VP carried these bills at the state level, I think this is a very easy lift that we can do. We have May will give a report on an interagency walkthrough with schools, with local schools, the Schools Construction Authority. I'll let her speak on that, but I was very grateful to be able to attend a very long and insightful and productive meeting. And then lastly, there's another item, but I will save it for executive committee report, since it's something that we all deliberated on. So if there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll pass it to Susan. Okay, Susan,
Okay.
take it away.
Sure, thank you. So first thing, both the borough chairs at Borough Board and the district managers at Borough Service had two very good presentations from the borough president. They're both timely and useful, which was really nice. And the first one was on open meeting law from their legal counsel. And two things that came up. First of all, in order to be counted as a member participating and present in the meeting, you must be on camera and identified by your name. That's why I kept telling people they had to be promoted. First of all, they couldn't, they wouldn't be able to speak otherwise. But also, so there's a lot of people not on camera now. You all must be on camera for open meeting law. So if you will do that. Also, if you could give your, I think almost everybody has their full name, but if you could give your full name also, so that the public is notified. So that was the first thing. And we just found out yesterday, this is very last minute, because we were not contacted by the governor's office to get this information, but the governor signed an executive order that there's a state of emergency until February 22nd. So that means our committee meetings can be virtual. Some of them will be hybrid and some of them will be virtual. I contacted each chair for each committee. And so please, when the agenda goes out tomorrow, it's either tomorrow or Thursday morning, please make sure whether your meeting is hybrid, held in a public space, or whether it's just virtual. I think parks and outreach will be just virtual, and Damaris land use, where I still need to hear the decision on that, but please check carefully. The other presentation from the borough president was on the city budget. And the next step in the city budget is the preliminary budget from the mayor's office, which by charter is supposed to be in January. However, every time there's a new mayor, it is always pushed back. This mayor is the first one that actually did this very transparently and asked city council to pass a law allowing him to push back and giving the dates so everybody knows when the dates are. So the preliminary budget, which will contain answers to our budget priorities, will be released on February 17th. And I get a copy from OMB, which I always send out to all the committee chairs. The community boards can respond to the preliminary budget. They must do that by March 15th. Now, I was going to put this on the committee agendas, but then I realized all the committees meet before the budget is released. So there's nothing for us to see. However, we've all voted on our priorities already. So those are set. And I'll work with the chairs to see which ones get a no, and we can just respond in a letter why these priorities are important to us. And just sort of FYI, after this, the next step, people return statements on the preliminary budget, and then the next step is the mayor releasing the executive budget in May. I will say I do not know ever of a case where any community board ever submitted a response to the preliminary budget and saw a change to the executive budget because of that. Let me see, after some questions about term limits, I also started getting some emails and texts about term limits. They kick in, people start not being able to be reappointed starting in 2027. So that will not be the current reapplications. I also got another questions about reapplying. Yes, they are 2 years, so you don't have to reapply every year. You will get a letter, or you will already have a letter from the borough president's office if you need to reapply. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to Yi in the borough president's office or to myself, because I was copied on all those letters. One issue that has been very difficult is we have no contact whatsoever with the mayor's office. They disbanded CAU, which has always been our contact. They have not been replaced. There's no communication, which has caused some chaos and difficulties already. I'm hoping that this will be remedied. I don't know why it's happening, but I'm hoping it'll be remedied soon. I've asked people for help in trying to get a contact. I've had some complaints about encampments. Now, our board has taken a position that we don't believe in the previous method of sweeps where people were just moved and their possessions taken. But there hasn't been anything to replace that. And it appears that there is no response at all to encampment. So I contacted the precinct, and they have been notified that all responses are on hold. So I don't know what's happening on that. I don't know what the new plan will be. And I guess I don't have any more comments on that. If there's any questions from board members, we don't take questions from the public, although I don't know why. Are there any board member questions? Does not seem that way.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. So moving on to executive report. One more thing I forgot to mention for my board report. I just wanted to welcome Elena Perez, who this is her first full board meeting. So welcome, Elena. We're excited to have you here. And then lastly, on the executive committee report, didn't vote on anything, but I did want to bring an item or share an announcement with you all, which is that we are finalizing and sending a letter out to Mayor Mamdani and the interim president of EDC, as well as Deputy Mayor Julie Sue and other relevant parties, just to provide some context and background about kind of our history and relationship to Essex Market in particular, and raising the concerns that we have raised on our board numerous times at the Land Use Committee and here at full board regarding the change of use in the market line space. As you all know, we have a lot of concerns about Burlington Coat Factory. We want some intervention from the mayor and also a discussion about future management and operations for Essex Market. So I just wanted to share that. It's nothing new. This is all things that we have discussed, but we wanted to make this new administration aware of it and also request what we have been requesting of the EDC now for months. Trevor, yes.
Just a quick question on, I know you mentioned one new members and this virtual option makes it a little difficult to sort of identify who. I know I've been assigned a new member. Could you identify the new members? Because this is more of a change that happened after the original appointments. How many new
Yeah.
members did we gain? And if you could identify them, that would be helpful.
Only one. Her name is Elena Perez, and she's on this call.
And the one that was assigned to my Parks Committee, sorry.
John is not here today, but John was appointed several months ago.
Got
So
it.
he's
I
not
just haven't seen him.
technically-
That's why.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
All right,
I
thanks.
know. We'll track down. That reminds me
That's
of
good.
another appointment of another announcement I wanted to remind folks about attendance. If I'll take just the liberty to once again remind folks, you're given up to 1/3 of excused absences. You must be present at the beginning of roll call and at the end of roll call to be counted as present for the full meeting. Otherwise, you're counted as partially present. You receive like half of a percentage. So we do attendance reports every 6 months, and just wanted to make people aware of that as always. Catherine?
Yeah, since you mentioned the Essex Street Market and Burlington, I just wanted to remind you or just say maybe you can put in a good word for subway accessibility in the subway in the northern portion, the northern side of Delancey, which is where they're supposed to be putting the elevators for accessibility to the subways, except that seems to be on hold again. So I would just, as long as you're talking to them about the Essex Street Market site, you might want to just put in something about that as well.
Yeah, I understood the Site 9 easement is a priority for sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions?
I'm sorry, I couldn't raise my hand quickly. Could you remind everybody, they must have their camera on in order to be counted, and if they could put their full name, it's required under open meeting law.
Okay. You heard Susan, but just in case you didn't, you need to have your camera on in order to be counted with the open meeting law.
And if I could also ask Catherine where she heard the elevator was on hold, because I haven't heard that.
Oh, where did I hear that? I heard it at some meeting or another. I mean, I think they're still pushing it, but I think the real problem is that they may not be going forward yet with that site.
I believe that it is not on hold. It's just going to take a long time because it's part of the development of that site.
Right. Yeah, I just usually put a word in because for some reason they keep skipping over it or forgetting it since it was originally on the southern side and somehow it got moved to the northern side.
Because of the development there.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you put your whole name in, Catherine?
I thought I had it in.
Unless there's another Catherine.
I don't think there is, or that spells it my name way. But let me see what I can do. I don't know how it got taken out. Anyway, yes.
I don't know. But if I could ask, many people do not have their cameras on. You must have your camera on, please.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
If you want Catherine, I could do it for you.
Yeah, please, because
all right, I'll
help.
pass it over to Vinny now for transportation.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. So we had at the transportation meeting in January 3 items that are in your vote sheet for voting. I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. The last one is just an administrative approval for some block parties. Pretty straightforward. We then also had NYU come to the committee and present an application to kind of get them in compliance for existing bus stops. So there's 6 of them shown. It's actually 3 stops. It's just going north-south, but they're actually all in use. However, the little bit confusing at the committee meeting, which we kind of got clarification, is that this is kind of getting them in compliance. They've been there for obviously a number of years, but some of the, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but the statement of what's required from intercity buses That is why they came to the committee. You'll see in there that we didn't support them for a number of reasons. It's written out in the resolution quite nicely. And then the other one that we had Canal Street redesign. This was a project that we heard in December at committee level. And just to kind of go through, as I like to, this project has been around for a while. It goes from the east side to the west side, so transversing both community boards 3, 2, and 1. There was a joint meeting held in November where DOT presented the plan as a joint meeting. And then we, CB3, had our own meeting in December to hear it. And then our January meeting was where we discussed the actual resolution to pass. I think the resolution is really thoughtful. Please do take a read of it. There's a number of items that we're asking DOT to address, namely a comprehensive plan. But we really wanted to take in what we heard from the community, but also heard too that we really need to do something for safety for pedestrians as well. So I think it's a really thoughtful plan that the committee put together, and then we also passed it unanimously at committee level as well. And so with that, I'll take any questions.
Yep. Hang on. Where's my hand?
Trevor, I think your hand was up first. At least you're showing the first box.
I'll be brief since I wasn't able to sign into the meeting, so I'm not going to belabor this, but there was some concern about there being no ability for vehicles to stop on Canal Street. I just want to get some facts. Is that true? Like if there's an ambulance, can they stop on Canal Street or will they block traffic?
So what they were doing, so like the plan again was there's a rush hour lane along the curb, lane that you're not supposed to park during rush hour. And it's like, so it's a 6-lane road more or less. That what DOT has said is that that lane doesn't really act that way. People still park there during the rush hours and that type of thing. Then it's also parking and loading. It's very unclear of like where loading zones are, where parking is. It's just, it's a hodge as you go down the road. So effectively DOT is saying that the road acts as a 2-lane, a 4-lane, 2 directions, to eastbound, to westbound. So the proposal that they came, and again, I'll be clear too, is that our only area that we're kind of the resolution takes in consideration is what's in CB3. And that's the south side of Canal Street from Baxter to Bowery. So it's those blocks. And in there, they were more or less shortening the crossings by putting in a super sidewalk is what they called it. And more or less that rush hour lane, that curb lane, which was a rush hour lane as well as a parking lane. They were just expanding the sidewalk space in most of the areas. But take a look at the way the resolution is written. What we did hear from the community is that it's very, that they liked the shorter crossing distances across canal. That's really important for safety, so bulb outs. But we also heard loud and clear that loading and unloading was very important for the businesses and the institutions along Canal Street. We also heard a lot about the illegal vending. So our resolution kind of crafts to more or less saying that we need more space, we need safety for pedestrians, but also realize that we need to work with the local commercial institutions on Canal Street to get what loading zones they do need on Canal Street. We did not think that the way the proposal was, it wasn't fully cooked. They're saying loading zones are going to be on the side streets. We kind of didn't agree with that because the narrow streets kind of a problem. So again, in the whereas clauses, you'll see a lot of what we heard from the community at the meetings, especially the one here at CB3. And then the resolution, the therefore is really taken into account that and try to get to a place where we can kind of get all the voices heard, but really in a way that moves the project forward. I think we didn't hear anyone saying that safety was not part of their problem here.
Thank you.
Sure. Carlin?
Yeah, good evening. Okay, I read through the resolution, but I didn't see anything that addresses quality of life issues. When you bottleneck traffic on canal, which is forget the DOT term, a global conduit, it's an interstate. Yeah, we lived with this interstate for years. And so it kind of forces traffic onto secondary and tertiary roads, which will cause more traffic back up there on my block. Every time there's during rush hour, traffic is blocked up all the way to World Street, and that causes my air quality really go down. Like, so I would like to make a friendly amendment to add in two concerns, an EIS study to address the additional traffic on secondary and tertiary roads and Canal Street, to study the environmental impact on residents' health concerns. Asthma is a problem in Chinatown because of this, heavily traffic. We're surrounded by all these major arteries, and also a traffic impact study, whether that would affect quality of life when these delivery trucks are forced onto the secondary streets and tertiary streets. So I would like to motion to add a friendly amendment and a whereas and a therefore.
Can I just respond just first to that before, if anyone chooses to second it? I just wanted to say that, Carlin, I think it's a little premature to do that. And the only reason why I say that is that this is a preliminary plan that they're presenting. This is not final. The resolution talks about it, and actually DOT even mentioned it again, that they're coming back to all the community boards in March with a new plan. So I don't know what that plan is, because again, CB1 and 2, they had their own comments, and then obviously we're putting a whole bunch of comments as well. I think that's if that is something that we want to consider for tonight, I think it's something that we shouldn't, and we should talk about that at committee level when they come back in March, and we could ask them questions about that and do that. That would be my thought process on that.
Yeah, the problem is the DOT plans to start implementing some of the changes in the
not till the
June
summer.
or July. Well, that's only 5 months away.
Yeah,
so
but
if we wait till March, I mean, I always believe an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So we should be proactive and address the issue now before they come back and say, "Oh, now you tell us," right? And it's too late to do anything about it. Yeah, that's why I want to bring it up now. I did bring it up at last month's full board, but some people didn't want to address it. So I think we should address this because it involves tens of thousands of residents in this neighborhood. Not only Chinatown, we're talking Little Italy, Tribeca, Soho, all the way down to Battery Park City.
So it sounds like we have Carlin's putting a motion.
I would like to second it if I can.
Okay, so I guess if Carlin, do you have what the actual motion is? I guess we have to take a vote now.
I can make up some language. You have to clean it up. Whereas there may be negative impacts on resident and businesses. Therefore, we ask the DOT to do a comprehensive EIS and a traffic impact study before the plan is implemented.
I don't think it would be an EIS. It probably would be a seeker because this is again, this is just paint, folks. I mean, this is nothing capital. There's no curb lines being changed. This is just paint to make the road safer for the people that live in the neighborhood. And again, the resolution really talks a lot about that. But I don't know if we want to. So I think maybe, Carlin, is it something about maybe instead of actually stating what is the seeker EIS, I don't know if we really know what that would actually be since it is just paint. Do you want to just more or less be specific on what your concerns are, and we can put that in there? Is that they need to be addressed through, further study or something like that?
Well, when you add the bike lane in, it's going to cause congestion.
The bike lane is not in our district. The bike lane is something that CB1 and 2 are going to deal with. The bike lane has nothing to do with Community Board 3 in our resolution. We have in CB3, we've made that we don't comment on other community boards.
We have the curb extensions.
Again, we don't know what they're going to do because this isn't a final plan. Or the way the resolution, the way it's crafted, is that we heard from the community that they want safety at the corners, and so we put bulb outs in the corners. And then we also heard from the community that they want loading zones along Canal Street in front of the businesses. So we said that we want to see that as well. So I think we need to be specific if we're going to provide anything here.
Any help out there? language for this?
While people are thinking, Catherine, did you want to add to this?
Well, I have
Sorry,
some
Catherine,
questions,
interrupt.
yeah. First, I think the committee did a good job, and I know you spent a lot of time on this because I was at most of those meetings. Question, is there anything about emergency vehicles? Because I didn't see anything.
Sorry, let me just pull it up here again. Sorry, having just a technical difficulty here.
And while you're looking, there was nothing about the exit from the Manhattan Bridge.
So we didn't say anything about the Manhattan Bridge because we, as a community board, we passed a resolution on the safety improvements for the bridge itself. And DOT was pretty clear that that's kind of separate from the Canal Street redesign. But we did pass a resolution, I want to say it was in September, pretty strong, asking them to do additional safety measures than what they had done immediately, kind of like following the event.
Yeah, because they're practically non-existent.
Agreed.
Okay. And then I do know, I'm not going to go over again about the fact that, and you mentioned the fact that the community is really concerned about the about loading and unloading and about the ability to drop off patients. Yeah, some of the community is very upset about closing Baxter and Walker Street, just so you know, they did have a problem with that. And did you actually, I didn't see that you actually mentioned super sidewalks in the resolution. Is it assumed that you're supporting them or you're just supporting extensions? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the way the resolution is written, so if you go to sorry here, I'm just so much easier when the piece of paper is printed out.
Isn't it? Especially when my phone keeps clicking off.
Yeah. So on the second, be it further resolved, that we ask like a redesign emphasis on providing for pedestrian safety and accessibility and support of local residents, operational needs for local businesses and institutions. So we say reducing pedestrian crossing distances, number one. Two, improving intersection safety through the review, adjustment of traffic signal timing and installation of LPIs. And then we have on three, reallocating street space by removing the existing rush hour travel lane on Canal Street and prioritizing pedestrian space and organized curbside uses in support of local residents, businesses, and institutions, including designated commercial and neighborhood loading and unloading zones with accommodations for micromobility. And then number four, we have reduced sidewalk congestion by providing areas within an expanded sidewalk to support orderly and legal vending activity while minimizing conflicts with pedestrians. And
I wasn't sure if that meant you were,
What that meant is that we didn't want to prescribe what is there, because what we're also asking is that there's a walkthrough with the community and the business owners to understand, again, like for them to go back, like they did a survey with business owners 2 years ago. We stayed in the resolution that's outdated. DOT is committed to going back out there, talking to commercial. We said that we want to be part of that because we want to understand like what do the institutions and businesses need for loading, unloading, and then figure out how do you create the sauce, I guess, right on that street. Because we also know that there is lots of illegal vending on Canal Street that's occurring. We say that needs to be part of this. Again, it needs to be comprehensive, which we state in the resolution. But we also know that the businesses need access and people need to walk. And so, is there ways to like find this happy medium, again, working with the local businesses and institutions there. And so that's what we're asking for. So do we say super sidewalks, we support it? I would think it doesn't say that yes or no, but it doesn't say that because we're saying we want loading and unloading areas as well. So that's not a super sidewalk. You know, super sidewalks, 8th Avenue in Midtown, right? Where they've expanded the sidewalks and full block lengths and that type of thing.
Okay, yeah, because recently what's happening is the vendors, the illegal ones in particular, are now moving more on the side streets and they're actually moving more onto like Grand Street. So it's gonna be a mess no matter what happens.
I mean, again, like as we like work with them on this, because this whole thing is like it's starting these conversations is like, where are there areas that you can use that lane that has been for cars? Some of that space, could you actually get the vendors to kind of go there, do their thing, and then have the sidewalk more open for folks to kind of walk and be safer? So it's kind of finding what is that piece. And again, we're talking about pain here. So if it's working, it's working. It's not, it's not. Like, right, we can kind of modify it. So I think that's where we kind of want to see is like have that conversation with community, put a plan together. Let's hear it. Let's see what you're talking about, and then move forward from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Arnett? Arnett, you're on mute if you were trying to speak. Your mouth was like
Yes.
underneath your name, just a second. I can tell.
It was, and I said some insightful stuff in the last 3 seconds. But anyway, I'm trying to get a better understanding of the support of the closure of Walker Street between Baxter and Canal to expand. Is that making a pedestrian like closing the street altogether, or closing the street while you do the placard? Like I'm unclear about that.
Yeah, so Walker Street goes from it's Walker Street kind of comes and it kind of dead ends into Canal Street on an angle after east of Baxter. So it's calling for the closing of Walker Street between Baxter and Canal Street, so that strip of land there, of roadway there, and closing it. And what we heard from the community was that they didn't want all these spaces to be created and then the placard cars all just park. So we're giving away, you know, street space to placard parking. What we wanted is that we wanted Walker Street to be used for open space in Chinatown, for people, for, you know, to expand the island, the Chinatown kiosk that's there. What they have found is when they've activated that space, that they've done a few pilots there, is that it gets filled with people using that space, is what happens there. So that's what we were supporting of. DOT mentioned it's a dangerous intersection. I know I've driven that before, of kind of going onto Canal Street and you're kind of looking behind your back and your shoulder to kind of merge. It's a pretty dangerous intersection. There's that aspect too. I don't think we're talking that way. I think we're talking about more of the space that it creates around the Chinatown kiosk.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Susan?
I just wanted to comment on what Arnett asked. I think it's for about last 10 years, there have actually been a lot of community meetings and input about that Baxter Triangle and extending it there. And there has been a lot of community requests for using it for wayfinding and exhibits and, you know, various programming as was mentioned.
Roland.
Yeah, I have a question. When you close the Walker Street, the Walker Street, the little triangle, right? When you close that, that forces cars on Walker Street coming off the Holland Tunnel to either try to come onto Canal Street or traverse around it, which will cause more traffic congestion on the secondary streets. So I don't see how this plan is relieving any congestion on Canal Street. You know, you're narrowing the travel lanes, right? The traffic lanes. So that's going to cause more traffic. Now people are coming around on Grand Street. Grand Street's a parking lot most days, going into the Bowery, and before they come down and go around, and people will circle around to the Manhattan Bridge, which has caused traffic. Right? And the traffic will bring more pollution to these neighborhoods. These are not all commercial streets they're traveling. They're gonna, circumvent this Canal Street here. So I don't see, what kind of environmental study do we need? And then you're saying a lower standard of an environment impact study?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying I don't know what it would be. So I don't think we should be specific in that. If we want to say what we want to say about this of looking at environmental issues. I mean, I don't think DOT has ever said that this is going to cure the traffic on Canal Street. That it's more or less, it's just seeing how Canal Street functions today, that it more or less functions as a 4-lane roadway to an east and west, just because that parking lane is a parking lane. The rush hour lane doesn't really function that way because people are always parked there with loading and unloading for the businesses. So it's kind of like more or less consolidating and making it a little bit, I mean, the primary goal is to make it safer for people is what the project is. But again, if you're wanting to take a vote on a motion for environmental, the language, I just didn't want to be so specific, but again, the language would be what you want to put forward.
You're going to call a vote for a motion?
Well, I don't know what the language is.
Maybe it could be something just more general, like whereas DOT is going to come back to us with an updated report, therefore we may request an environmental impact statement on potential impacts to secondary and tertiary streets.
So I'm sorry, I'm just going to go back here just to see where we could, if we want to put that forward and where that would be.
One quick.
So the last, be it further resolved, it says that CB3 requests that NYC DOT return to CB3 to present a refined plan incorporating the feedback prior to implementation. Do you want to add a sentence in there? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, just something that recognizes that because they're coming back, we might have additional requests depending on what the future proposal will be.
Regarding what? Do we want to say what, or just be generalized?
I think it sounds like we need to be general.
Any negative health policies due to
Potential negative health impacts.
Potential negative health impacts.
And while you're at it, I just realized we never did answer the question about if there's anything about emergency vehicles. Maybe we can ask them to report back to us on that as well.
We can, I'll put that in that. We can put that in the same area there too. We may have additional requests due to any potential negative health impacts or emergency vehicles.
Sure.
So I just want to make sure that any changes you make, that Molly's getting them in to the template, the minutes template.
Okay, so just for everyone, I will take a vote since this was seconded. It is on your vote sheet. It's the last, be it further resolved. Just added another sentence. So I'll just read the be it for resolved. So be it further resolved that CB3 requests that NYC DOT return to CB3 to present a refined plan incorporating this feedback prior to implementation. We may have additional requests due to any potential negative health impacts or emergency vehicles. So
negative that would be health impacts or impacts to emergency vehicles.
Right.
Negative health impacts or impacts to, is that what you say, impacts to emergency vehicles? Impacts to, okay. So we may have additional requests due to any potential negative health impacts or impacts to emergency vehicles.
Yeah, emergency vehicle access.
Vehicle access.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that. Oh, you're just typing it up now.
I'm just typing up so I have the language in front of me. Sorry, I'm typing too loud for everyone. All right, so that is.
I have one quick question though.
Can we
the countdown clock?
Is it on that motion, Carlin?
No, that's not something else.
All right,
let's get this over with.
Yeah, let's get this over with. So that is, I'll read it one more time for everyone because we're gonna have to take a vote on this. On the last, be it further resolved that CB3 requests that NYCDOT return to CB3 to present a refined plan incorporating this feedback prior to implementation. We are now adding this sentence. We may have additional requests due to any potential negative health impacts or impacts to emergency vehicle access. So that is the vote on the table.
Okay.
And Rod, I don't know, do you take the vote? I think you do.
Do you want a roll call vote?
You want to do that now?
Yeah, I
We
guess
can
you
do that
need a
now.
roll. I guess you
Yeah, I
need.
think I don't think we can do, I think we'll do a roll call.
Yeah.
Okay, I am ready. David Adams. David Adams.
It's not answering.
Okay, Stephen Ballinger.
Yes.
Tanya Bates.
Yes.
Lee Berman.
Yes.
Harlan Chan.
Yes.
Ariadna Chua.
Yes.
Vincent Cerrito.
Yes.
Eric Diaz.
Yes.
Alistair Economakis.
Yes.
Larry Fenn.
Yes.
Tahisha Fields. Oh, absent. Naima Fofana. Naima.
Is there somewhere?
John Fout.
Yes.
Catherine Freed.
Yes.
Sean Garcia.
Yes.
Ryan Gillum.
Yes.
Carly Goldenson.
Yes.
Andrea Gordillo.
Yes.
Herman Hewitt.
Yes.
Trevor Holland. Trevor.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Got it. Valentina Jones.
Yes.
Anna. Oh, she's absent. Nancy Kong.
No.
No. Michelle Cuppersmith.
Abstain.
Diane Lake.
Yes.
Mei Lee.
Yes.
Michael Lavario.
I'm gonna be present, not voting. I work for sanitation, so I'm not gonna vote on this item, but I'll be present.
Okay. Yaya Lau. Yaya.
She's not here.
Okay. She's absent.
Yes.
Okay. Molly Lou.
Yes.
Campbell Munn.
Present, not voting. I work for EDC, and given the proximity to the Chinatown Connections project, I think it's best I present, not voting.
Good. Thank you. John Nidek, absent. Indrani.
Yes.
Sit down.
Yes. Grovin, absent. Daisy Paez.
Yes.
Daisy.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes. Elena Perez.
Yes.
Rod Ramanian. Yes. Ramya Rao. Ramya. Are you on mute?
I think she's not on camera, so we can't.
Okay. Damaris Reyes.
Yes.
Al Roded.
Yes.
Aileen Rodriguez,
Yes.
Arnett Scott,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Sandra Strother,
Yes.
Daniel Tano,
Yes.
Zachary Thomas,
Yes.
Josephine Velez,
Yes.
and Kathleen Webster.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, do I count out the yeses?
I think it's pretty clear, no?
Yeah, I think quick math in my head.
I'm sorry, I think my Zoom shut down. Can I still vote and vote yes?
Oh,
All
Who's
good.
this?
Ramya, sorry.
Oh, what's your vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got it.
Okay, any other questions?
no.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Okay, up next is Parks. I'll hand it over to you, Trevor.
So we did not have any resolutions. We did have our monthly or bi-monthly update on the East River Park and Service Resiliency Project and the BMCR, which is Brooklyn Montgomery Coastal Resiliency Project. Just an update, but there are no resolutions. Are there any questions? I will add that next month we will see an update from Plus Pool on the in-water pool that's scheduled to be installed near Pier 35. If anyone is interested, that might be interesting. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, thank you, Trevor. Up next is May with Health and Human Services.
Well, hi, everyone. So I have three things to talk to you about today. We have two resolutions for you to vote on, and then I will also report on the interagency visit to schools that Andrea had mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. So first for the resolutions. The first resolution is from Bellevue, the Bellevue CAB. This came to our committee and gave a report about the state of finances as health and hospitals. There's going to be a lot of cuts coming down from the federal government. So they're asking the city and state for specific things. And that's what the resolution is about. There's three specific things. One is about telehealth. The other one is about Medicaid reimbursement. And then finally, there's a fee for service upper limit payment that they want to maintain. So that's in your resolution. The second one is about the Treatment Court Act. So it's to expand who can be eligible for treatment court. Well, first of all, only certain types of cases or defendants can be eligible it's an alternative to incarceration to go through this treatment court. But what this act does change is that that you don't have to plead guilty in order to be eligible. Right now, you have to plead guilty in order to be eligible for treatment court. And you might not plead guilty. I mean, if you have a lawyer, they tell you not to, you don't plead guilty. And then Susan has an example how she tried to help somebody to get into treatment court, but the problem is that they had to plead guilty. So that's what this legislation is about. It's state legislation. Okay, so finally, the third thing is I just wanted to report a little bit about the walkthrough, the interagency walkthrough we have with the schools. So we had, as was reported, we had a meeting with the school. This was back in December or November, maybe October, meeting with School Construction Authority about, how we need a new school. And, but at the same time, we had a meeting with School Construction Authority with this District 1 chancellor. And to talk about this need for the new school. But at the same time, in the schools, there's just a lot of immediate, so they said no, but there are a lot of immediate needs that need to be, there's a lot of things in a state of disrepair, things have been funded, but the projects are not completed and people don't know what's going on. So it was decided to have this walkthrough of 3 different schools. District 1 chose the schools. The walkthrough was in January. We went, me and Susan and Andrea went. The superintendent and deputy superintendent of District 1 was there. All the schools are in City Council District 2. So Harvey's office was there. The school construction authority, the school facilities department was there. So we went to the schools and we found that, there's a lot of lack of communication. There is no tracker about the progress of things. I mean, the most egregious example, we went to 3 schools. One was the Children's Workshop School, PS 15 and PS 188. Probably the most egregious examples when we saw this bathroom was on the 1st floor and they had wanted to remodel it. So they broke down all the stuff and that was it. It was never remodeled and there's still just a lot of rubbish. I mean, you go into the bathroom, it's all just rubbish in the room. It's like, bricks and stuff, and it's been like that for years, they said. So it had been funded, but clearly has not been completed. There is no tracker that tells you where they're at. Is it not complete? Is it because the funding has run out? There's no tracker at all. So no one knows what's going on. Sometimes we, and I think actually, Carrie and Christine, who are the superintendent and deputy superintendent, also don't know what's going on, and neither do the facilities department. So we decided there needs, one of the things we talked about, there needs to be more communication. There needs to be a tracker. Susan showed them, I think it's the Parks Department has a tracker that, they could use something like that. So it was a very productive visit. So I think it will be helpful to School District 1 and all the other problems they have. Any questions? Or anything else to add from Andrea or Susan?
Trevor has a question.
Just a quick question. I'm hearing from some parents in the building I live in that the new requirement for smaller class size is causing some schools to look elsewhere for space. In particular, 184, which says that they need space in other buildings. And that requires, obviously, for students who thought they were going to be in a school for a while to move to another location, and makes a problem for parents. Have you seen or heard of this issue? And is this something that probably needs to be discussed?
Yeah, so actually we heard that that part of it is gonna, part of the Shuangwen Academy is going to move over to another building close by. Is it PS 134, I think?
Yes, 184. 180.
Yeah, 184, but the other building, I forgot that it's so
134, you're right.
Yeah, 134. I haven't heard that much from the parents. But Grauven, who's the CEC1 president, says it'll be good. They do have some programming there already, like cross programming with PS 134. So it's not a completely new thing. And it's not all the students, but it's, I think, the upper grades. And PS 134 apparently has a lot of room. But 184 does not. We can find out more, but that's what I heard. Oh, Arnett and Kathleen want to. Arnett?
Just piggybacking off Trevor. 134 and 137 are relatively close to each other. And like she said, it's for the upper grades, so it doesn't affect those parents that typically drop off their children. As far as like the proximity and children dropping off, if you have more than one kid, then, you may feel a little pressure, but ultimately is to also ensure that we keep having our local schools within the district versus having possibly the school building co-located with a charter school, which would then pretty much be a citywide school and not necessarily serve children in our district. So it's two folds in which it helps. The neighboring schools are helping each other in order to keep local schools locally, and our parents and our families having school space within, the proximity of our residents. And secondly, I made mention that there is, for those that have been here a long time, there is a history where people may feel a little upset about it, because 134 used to be co-located with 184, then 184 took over 137. So there are parents or families that may have been around when everything went down and probably feel a little way about it. But overall, the actual implementation of it right now is to keep both school buildings within our district. So I think that is probably the best alternative we have for right now. So I don't know if that will help the parents in understanding what's going on or giving them some context in it, but it's really the intent behind it is to keep two skill buildings, DOE buildings, and not have it integrated with private schools, which are charter, taking up public spaces. So hopefully that helps.
No, I think Kathleen. Okay.
Yeah, hi, thanks, May. I just wondered if you had any more information about the controller's report on asbestos in schools that haven't had asbestos mitigation, and partly because of the overcrowding in schools, at least the ones that I'm familiar with along Forsyth Street, some of which have daycares for children while their parents get their GED. Their very young parents get their GEDs. And just the overcrowding in general, they have no library because of, they need the room. But any more on that, or will you all look at it? I know Senator Kavanaugh's office is already looking into it for CB3.
Yeah, you want me to answer that, May?
Oh, okay.
I looked at the report, and I did two things. I looked at the report, which seemed to be on asbestos inspections, not mitigation. And I have also contacted our school construction rep to ask for a list of the schools that are listed for asbestos mitigation, but don't get answers in a day. So we're still following up. But the report seemed to be on schools that weren't getting proper inspections.
And therefore no mitigation if there was
No,
asbestos
it's
found.
it wasn't, well, yes, that's true. So it seems that there are schools with asbestos that are not considered dangerous, and they need the inspections to know if they continue to not be dangerous or if they do need mitigation and should move on to that list. So yes, it does concern, they may or may not need mitigation. We don't know if they're not inspected properly.
Yep,
That's yeah, so that's what the report is, and I have asked for that list.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Susan Grauven. Oh, there she is. No, Grauven is in the attendees box, and she has her hand raised.
Okay, I didn't see her before, so I'll find her.
She hasn't.
Okay, now I
think
see
she
her.
got there not long ago.
Okay, Grauven, I'm promoting you to a panelist, and you have to put your full name. She's
I don't
joining.
see any, oh.
Hi, I'm
She's
here.
joining.
I just wanted to address some concerns. So, yeah, Maylene is right. We do have a lot of things that are going on, but the reason why we're merging 184 and 134 is because the only school that needs to come to have more space due to the new law that's coming in effect is 184. None of the other schools are over capacity. We're actually under capacity in every school in District 1 right now. We need more kids in our schools, basically. So there's no school right now that is over capacity. The only one that we have is 184. This is why we are merging 184 to 134, because they're going to use the 2 floors on top. We have had already 2 meetings per school with all the principal and all the parents in each Zoom, talking and having concerns because parents are concerned. We're putting cameras in the school. 134 is going to go first, just so that we can know what's going on in the hallways or anything. We're going to have cameras. The kids are going to exit through different exits. They're not going to communicate the way every day, but they are going to have like reading, buddy reading and things like that. They're going to use different times the gym there's a lot of collaboration that's going on with that. And the asbestos, I'm not sure about, but I know that most of the schools did a check, and most of them came out like with no kids. There was no overcrowding, there was no asbestos, but now we need a new one, like she said. So that's what we're waiting on. But the only reason why we're merging that school is because all of our other schools are under capacity. We need more students. The only one that's over capacity is 184, and we just don't want another charter school. I don't know if you guys know, the charter school in 142 is having an excessive amount of issues. The principal has been let go. There's no parent coordinator. There's a lot of things going on that we don't want to continue to repeat and lose ourselves. The schools are not merging like the old DOE. It's a new way that we're merging. The schools are still going to function as 2 schools. It's still going to function as separate, but they're going to work in collaboration to use the building. So it's like something new. We just don't want Success Academy here. We don't want another charter school to go with what we're dealing with right now with 134, with 142, and the old 56, which is the UNMS and all of that building. So that's why we're trying to keep it in our own, so that the DOE doesn't come in the way that they came in PS19 and took over and just merge all these schools together. We are trying to avoid that. Conversations are happening. I'll be happy to share these links with you guys if there's anything that you guys want to come to these meetings. Just talking to parents and addressing the concerns of parents. I will gladly share it with everyone so that you guys can keep up to see what we're trying to do. But this was just one of the best decisions that we've made, so that we don't lose another school building. But right now, every school except for 184, we are under fulfilled and under capacity. We need more students, we need more kids, and that's why so there's no parents that are worried about filling. When the new law comes in, all the schools are going to be in they're going to be following the new law, because we don't have schools that are filled to the limit right now. So I just wanted to update you, the guys, and everything, all the walkthroughs that we're doing. We gave all these things to the building. I did get Susan I did get back I'm gonna forward it to you guys. I did get back the updated list of what is it that they send us. So my main concern right now that I'm focusing on, that the SLA sent me an email, and it was the same thing that we got before, Susan, the same thing that I send you. But my main concern now is that I'm tackling and falling into is all the money that Carolina Rivera, that Harvey, that Grace Lee, that all these elected officials gave the school, and the school has not been able to use them, and it's been over 5 years. So my main concern right now is to get these schools this money that they were given to buy elected officials. Mind you, they're not getting no updates. The schools are not giving, the SLA is not giving them updates. They're just saying that that money goes somewhere else because it's a gift. So the schools haven't been able to fix things that are in the school. Even when they tell us to go to elected officials to get money, we go to elected officials, we get money, but the money, the school never sees it. Like an example, 63, Star Academy. The Harvey gave them the money to repair all the auditorium and put new lighting, new everything. And the money has been nowhere to, the money was given to them and the money's nowhere to be found. The school has been waiting 2 years. So these are the things that I'm working on to provide the schools to use their funds, to use their grants, to use whatever they were given to them, because apparently Again, we're not getting any money to fix these schools this year. So we have to count on the money that the elected officials already gave us to tackle these things. And we have to focus on where's this money and getting this money. So I would love, Susan, for you to get an email. I'm going to get one to see where this money is because we need answers.
Okay.
Robin.
I-
Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I think she meant SCA. That's a school construction authority.
SCA.
Okay.
I don't know if you just, I'm not sure when you arrived, Gavin, but may give a report about some of these issues. And of course, you know, procurement is a global issue in the city. And that was one of the things that we tackled in the meeting, was like, what are the challenges around that? So I'm glad that we got to talk about that at like, you know, I remember in the meeting, one of the things that the SCA expressed was like finding the right cadence of access to go in and do these repairs. So so I hope something will come of that.
Fingers
but
crossed.
yeah.
Okay, so
There's
Andrea,
people with
there's two
there's
more
people with their
people who
hands
raised.
raised. Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to also call on them for this or?
Sure.
Okay, so it's Lee
I know we're
Berman and
it's
then
getting
Daisy,
late,
and
though.
maybe that should be the last one,
I'll
right?
thank you. I'll make it quick. So to Arnett, May, and Grauvin's point, FYI, Shangwen is not just a District 1 school. It's really a citywide school, at least for middle school, for the upper classes. So that really is, if they're overcrowded there, it's because they're not just taking District 1 kids, or really it should be phrased as not all District 1 kids who want to go there are able to get in because they're taking kids from all 5 boroughs. So that really should be looked at. And then if any of you know, Grauvin, maybe this is to you, you said that leadership will stay the same when the older grades move to 134. Well, are they going to have the same teachers, or they're going to be new teachers? Because some of the teachers for the middle school also teach the elementary school. So are they going
No,
to be
the middle school is taking their own, they're bringing in everything. They're bringing their students, they're bringing their teachers, they're bringing their help staff.
So teachers that teach both elementary and middle, they're going to wind up losing teachers at some point?
No, the only people that are moving over are middle school. So the middle school teachers will be moving over, and the middle school kids and the middle school staff. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Daisy, go ahead.
Okay, so I think one of my questions was answered with Lee Berman's, Gravin, regarding what's going to happen to the building that's going to be transferred. The students and the teachers are all going to be transferred. So will that building still be occupied by the Board of Education in some way, or what's going to happen to that building?
The only thing that's gonna happen, the difference is that the middle schoolers are gonna be in that building receiving classes from the second floor, or from the third floor up. Third and fourth floor will be theirs, and that's basically it. There's nothing else that's gonna change. The schools are gonna stay separate. What they're gonna collaborate on is gym time, spaces, maybe bring after school that they can collaborate in, or I already think they have after school on their own.
Yeah, but my
nothing.
question is the building where the people are moving or collaborating. Are there going to be other grades left be in that building?
So that school is gonna stay as a 1 through 5.
Okay.
134 will be 1 through 5. All the students are gonna be there, and they're still gonna be taking applications to take new kids in. It's gonna be a 1 through 5, 1 through 5th grade, pre-K to 5th grade.
Okay.
Or kindergarten to 5th grade. I'm sorry, kindergarten to
Okay.
5th grade is gonna be a regular school, and the other one is gonna be only 6th grade. I mean, yeah, 6th grade to 8th grade, I think, or 7th.
Okay. Okay. My second question is, who's supposed to be held accountable regarding the funds that were received that you were mentioning? There's got to be an accountability.
That's the thing that we're having issues with. There's, SAA says that is another well, you know, they say it's someone else, then the school said it's someone else. So I'm trying to find, Harvey is already taking it upon himself to try to find out, because he didn't even have an answer. So we're trying to find out who's going to give us the correct answer.
Well, there should be a paper trail of who received the money and who the money was given to. So that would be nice if we would know the outcome of that. Thank you, Gravin.
All right, May, anything else?
No, I have nothing else. That ends my report.
Okay. Let's move on to Clint with SLA.
We had a very easy meeting this month. There was nothing noteworthy. We received all of the stipulations back for every item. The only two things that I would like to mention on number 8, which was for Canyon, at the very last item in the resolution section, the very last, therefore be it resolved, we just need to insert the corporate name needs to be Canyon.
You just went on mute, Clint. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I flipped out. I thought I had it set. So anyways, instead of saying corporate name in the therefore be it resolved section, that's the placeholder. I should have corrected this before it went into the vote sheet. It should read Canyon Foundation Inc. is the corporate name, and instead of saying address, it should be 200 Broome Street. So it's just a minor editing correction that didn't happen. It's listed in the first whereas clause above, it just didn't get carried over to the bottom. And the only other thing I want to quickly mention, we are having I'm not even going to go as far as to call it, it's basically a training for the committee members, not necessarily on how to write a resolution. It's just going to be a quick go through of when we're putting together our draft resolutions, the things we include and why they're important to have in the resolution. It was going to be either before or after our meeting, but two things we've now determined by the borough president's office that trainings do not have to be necessarily in the full open meetings format. And also given the governor's extension of the emergency order, we can then have this on Zoom. So it's not technically scheduled, it's not going to be on the agenda. I think the office will just send around to any other community board members that care to join. And then I don't expect it to be much more than a half hour. After that is over, the video will be put up on the community board website. So anyone have any questions on any of the items or the correction that I just listed or the training? Please raise your Zoom hand. If not, we will move on. Thank you.
Clint.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks. Damaris for land use.
Hey, good evening, everyone. We had a couple presentations. We had a presentation from a new planning fellow, Juliana Fomay, and she's going to be working with us to do a policy analysis of affordable housing opportunities that may become available now under the City of Yes language changes. In that presentation, she gave a little bit of detail about what we were looking for. She's, going to be interviewing a bunch of stakeholders, different partners, so that we can gather as much information. She gave us a bit of a timeline. We will be getting at land use an update from now through April, and then at the April full board meeting, she will be making a final presentation. But there will be other opportunities again before that at land use to come, listen, and weigh in. We also then had a presentation from IBO, the Independent Budget Office. Again, this was an info presentation to look at the impacts of the affordable housing components of the City of Yes, specifically the Universal Affordability Program. And so because it's a relatively new policy, there wasn't really much data to look at to give us any real projections, but they promised to come back in the future and let us know what that impact is. And then finally, we talked about, the term limits and what all the committees are doing to, prepare, document procedures, and just all around make the community board committees and all the things that we do more transparent and accessible to new members and, leadership to come in the future. And that was that. No vote necessary, no resolution.
Great, thank you. Diane, Eric, any reports or updates from you? I don't think so, but just wanted to make sure.
No, nothing.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, then we will take a
Excuse
roll call
me.
vote now.
Landmarks.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sandra. I'm a little out of it right now.
So am I. I
Yeah.
understand.
Sorry.
So,
Okay, please go ahead.
we had a resolution. It was brought to us by Lower East Side Preservation Initiative. Richard Moses and Deborah Wise. She spoke at the early section, at the public session. This building we're talking about is St. Mary's Church at 400 Grand Street. It is really near and dear to many people in the community. It's 200 years old this year, and it's just a beautiful church. Like I said, the community came out in droves. 3 community board members came to support: Daisy, Michelle, and Gravin. District leader Magda, Napoleon came. Christopher Marte, Councilman Christopher Marte. So I really think, I hope that everyone here supports it as well, because it's very important to us in the community. And that's it. Any questions about the resolution or the church? Trevor?
So quick I should have looked this up, but is this the same church that has the proposed development?
No.
That's a difference.
No,
All right.
that's St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up. Bye-bye. End the meeting.
Great, thank you.
All right.
All right, at this time, we'll take a roll call vote then.
Can you hear me?
And just for new members, just a reminder, explaining how to vote. If you vote yes on all of the resolutions, if that's how you want to vote, you can do that. If you want to vote no on any one of them, just make sure to articulate that to Rod when your name is called.
Okay. And since this is the first time for our secretaries on Zoom, can Molly and Rod, can you send me the minutes template and the vote grid after the meeting? Can you email it, please? Thank you.
Yes, will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So David Adams. Absent. Stephen Ballinger.
Yes.
Tanya Bates.
Yes.
Lee Berman.
Yes, except no on transportation item number 3 and no on SLA items 4 and 6. Thank you.
I got that. Great. You're welcome. Carlin Chan.
Yes.
Yes. Ariadna Chua.
Yes.
Vincent Cerrito.
Yes.
Eric Diaz.
Yes.
Alistair Economicus.
Yes.
Larry Fenn.
Yes.
Aisha Fields is absent. Naomi Fofana is absent. John Fout.
Yes.
Catherine Freed.
Yeah, I'm abstaining on, I think it's transportation too, is the Canal Street redesign, and yes, and everything else.
Sean Garcia.
Yes on everything.
Brian Gillum,
Yes.
Charlie Goldenson,
Yep.
yes. Andrea Gordillo,
Yes.
Armin Hewitt,
Yes.
yes. Trevor Holland, Trevor,
Spacebar didn't work. Yes.
Valentina Jones,
Yes.
yes. And she's absent. Nancy Kong,
Yes.
Michelle Cuppersmith, Michelle,
Yes.
Diane Lake,
Yes.
May Lee,
Yes.
and Michael Lavario,
Present not voting on transportation item number 2, no on SLA item number 4, and yes on everything else.
okay. Got it, thank you. Yeah, Laws absent. Molly Lou,
Yes.
yes. Campbell Munn,
Yes, except present not voting on transportation 2.
got it. John is absent. Indrani Nicomedes Rivera,
Yes to all.
yeah, great. Grav, oh, absent.
No, I'm
Daisy
here,
Paez,
yes. I'm here.
yeah.
Robin is here.
Robin is here.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I didn't think it was
Okay.
gonna show. A couple of days ago, he got suspended. So like 2 or 3 days.
Elena Perez,
He was bad mouthing.
Yes,
I'm here.
Robin, could
In
you?
case you get to me, Daisy Pius.
okay. Daisy Paez, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Elena Perez,
Yes.
Rod Romanian, yes. Ramya Rao,
I think when he was.
Yes.
Damaris Reyes,
He's an animal.
if you're not voting, do you mind muting?
When he was with, I mean, he's East Coast, West Coast, everywhere. He was the Nets. And in my opinion, he
Who
was
is that?
the Nets.
Okay, great, thank you. Tal Roded,
Yes.
Aileen Rodriguez,
Yes.
Annette Scott,
Oh, yes.
Clint Smeltzer,
Yes.
Sandra Struther,
Yes, and good night.
good night. Daniel Tanow,
Yes.
Zachary Thomas,
Yes.
Josephine Velez,
Yes.
Kathleen Webster,
Yes.
and Guillermo Zubiaga is absent. That's everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Everyone, have a great
Night.
evening.
So the
Night.
meeting
care,
is
folks.
adjourned,
Bye-bye.
right?
Meeting
Good
is
night, y'all.
adjourned.
Take care.
Good
night.
Thanks.